A very good morning. You're watching NewsX and I'm Shivani Singh. This is in fact something that we are tracking, Artemis II Splashdown, something historic, a milestone for humankind. Now, NASA's Artemis II astronauts have safely splashed down on Earth, completing a landmark mission that carried humans around the moon and back for the first time in more than 50 years. The crew successfully completed a parachute landing in the Pacific Ocean after a high-speed re-entry through Earth's atmosphere. The astronauts were then one by one escorted outside the capsule, after which they were airlifted and taken for examination. Let's in fact take a look at Artemis II and its crew who made it back to the Earth, because these are people who are making history and obviously something that we will be tracking, that splashdown and how it made its way back to Earth. So, Artemis II returns to Earth. We'll give you a sequence of how it actually came back. So, at 11:35 a.m. the crew wakes up. This was their pre-splash day routine. So, at 11:35 they wake up, astronauts begin their final day in space. Mission control plays a wake up song. So, a very familiar tune over there, a wake up song for the astronauts. They wake up at around 11:35 for their final day in deep space, the furthest that any human has ever been. Between 1:50 to 3:20 p.m. So, after they wake up, after they freshen up, this is the afternoon time when the cabin reconfiguration for the re-entry takes place. So, they have to reconfigure the entire cabin to make sure that it's properly set for re-entry back into the Earth's atmosphere. At 7:33 p.m. in the evening, the crew module separates. So, this is the crew module and this part is the service module, which has all the equipment that they were carrying, and this is the crew module, very small, Orion, and this Orion's crew capsule separates from the European service module. So, this is the service module that the Orion, the top part, it's triangular in shape, that separates before its re-entry in the evening. Then at 7:37 p.m. the crew module rays burn and a short thruster burn to adjust altitude and enter an entry trajectory. So, remember when you have to enter the Earth's atmosphere, you have to make sure that they enter at a particular angle and a particular trajectory, and to make sure that they hit that correct one, a burn is raised, and for that they hit that particular altitude and trajectory when this is done. Let's look, this happened at 7:37. Now, we are tracking it in minutes. At 7:53 p.m. then the entry interface starts and the Orion enters the atmosphere at 400,000 feet and 24,000 miles per hour. So, 400,000 feet above the Earth's surface, that is where they make the entry, and their speed is around 24,000 miles per hour. At great speed, that is how they enter the Earth's atmosphere. This happens at around 7:53. We are tracking the minutes, viewers. So, then at 8:03 p.m., so around 9 minutes later, the Drogue parachutes deploy. These are the first set of parachutes. There are 11 in total. This is the first set of parachutes. After 9 minutes of re-entry into the Earth's atmosphere, the Drogues slow the capsule from supersonic speed. So, we told you that they were entering at 24,000 miles per hour. The first set of parachutes, called the Drogues, deploy around 9 minutes later to make sure that this speed is decreased. There are 11 in total. So, next what happens at 8:04 p.m. 1 minute later, the main parachutes are deployed. So, we are getting you those visuals as well. There are main parachutes, 3, they are wider in dimensions than used earlier, and 3 main parachutes deploy, slowing down Orion to around 20 miles per hour. So, these are the 3 main parachutes, wider in dimensions and diameter, and they make sure that Orion's splashdown speed reduces to around 20 miles per hour. And at 8:07 p.m. the splashdown occurs. You can look at the Orion capsule over here. These are the 3 main parachutes that were in fact deployed. This happened in the Pacific Ocean off the coast of San Diego. Orion lands in the Pacific Ocean of San Diego. So, this is where the splashdown had to happen at around 8:07. So, remember that entire sequence 7:37 p.m. to 8:07, and we showed you how this entire sequence played out, what were the important components during this entire splashdown. Let me in fact introduce the guests who are joining us.